is back. CNN. Oh God. What's up?
Thing like that. And, you know, he just, he wanted me to be with him because we had been through some stuff. Because you got to realize we started off at the red zone in the building. Do you remember? Y'all too young for the building?
Yeah.
The building was where they had unsigned hype. They had Monday night. They used to do like Leaders of the New School, Naughty by Nature, what's her name, Queen Latifah. All the new rappers used to come there and showcase their stuff on Monday night. Puff used to do that, Daddy's house at the building. Then he used to do the party on Wednesday at the Red Zone.
About 91, 92?
Yes.
Yeah, we were about 8, 9 years old at that time. That was a little before our time, but we was getting there. We was definitely getting there. Talk about, all right, because you hear all the time, especially during that time, you hear the Illuminati talk, selling souls. This person sacrificed all this wild shit. Without giving too much away, because I don't know what's in your book and what's not in your book, how real was that part? That the sadistic, wild, demonistic side of hip hop that's all out there. All the conspiracies are out there, but no one's really ever brought to light.
Bro, you don't see that. You know what happens is that they got places where you go and the bodyguards have to stop right here. And unless the girls come back, who's back there with them, tell you what was going on, you don't see it per se. I've been in one situation where I've seen some crazy stuff, and that's dudes getting set up, as far as like, whereas that, if I could say this, like you have a girl being sexual to this one guy, maybe going down on him, and he's back there rolling his eyes, he hiding the mother, and when he put his head down, it's one of them white boys sucking on him.
Oh,
you understand? That has happened. You understand what I'm saying? Then you got these guys who they go into these Turkish houses. Once you get to that door, you don't go back in there. But you know what they do in them Turkish houses. Well, you can assume what they do, quote unquote, in those Turkish houses. You understand? But you get stopped at the door. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go into the building, but they have that last door, you don't go past that.
You securing that door at that point.
Yeah.
Now you were Puffy's main security detail, bodyguard, whatever you want to call it, assigned to pretty much, protect him and his family, right?
Nope. Just to protect him and whoever's with him at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, see, what happened was that I wouldn't work for Puff sometimes. Like, they would beg me to work for Puff. Kirk Barrows will call me, yo, Gene, please, Chief Gene, please. He wants you. Because Puff knew I was nice with my hands first. Because when you grow up in St. Louis, you either belong to one of the boxing clubs, you belong to one of the football clubs. Because back in the Midwest, that's what we had was sports. You understand? So you belong to one of the boxing clubs, you belong to a football club, you play baseball, basketball, and everything. I went to the University of Tennessee, ended up playing basketball and getting my degree. So I've always been nice in my hand. And then I studied karate under Cedric Malone. He was my sensei. Benny Smith was my boxing instructor. You understand? I used to put both of them together before they even start the MMA shit. You know what I'm saying?
6, 7, God damn.
Yeah. And like dude said, like when I told people my senior year, I got kicked out during the playoffs because one of the guys tried to attack me and I broke his jaw, his nose, and fractured his some in his face. And I'm not saying that to brag, it's just saying that, I was always the type of guy, and I would fight the bullies. I like fighting the bullies. I never picked on nobody, nothing like that. If somebody was picking on somebody, I'd be the first one to say, man, leave them people alone. They're not bothering you. I bet you wouldn't do me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was that type of dude like that, very humble. And like I said, Puff knew I was nice with my hands and everything like that. And, he just, he wanted me to be with him because we had been through some stuff. Because you got to realize we started off at the red zone in the building. Do you remember? Y'all too young for the building?
Yeah.
The building was where they had unsigned hype. That Monday night they used to do like Leaders of the New School, Naughty by Nature, what's her name, Queen Latifah. All the new rappers used to come there and showcase their stuff on Monday night. Puff used to do that, Daddy's house at the building. Then he used to do the party on Wednesday at the Red Zone.
About 91, 92?
Yes.
Yeah, we were about 8, 9 years old at that time. That was a little before our time, but we was getting there. We was definitely getting there. Talk about, all right, because you hear all the time, especially during that time, you hear the Illuminati talk, selling souls. This person sacrificed all this wild shit. Without giving too much away, because I don't know what's in your book and what's not in your book, how real was that part? That the sadistic, wild, demonistic side of hip hop that's all out there. All the conspiracies are out there, but no one's really ever brought to light.
You don't see that. You know what happens is that they got places where you go and the bodyguards have to stop right here. And unless the girls come back, who's back there with them, tell you what was going on, you don't see it per se. I've been in one situation where I've seen some crazy stuff, and that's dudes getting set up, you know, as far as like, whereas that, if I could say this, like you have a girl being sexual to this one guy, maybe going down on him, and he's back there rolling his eyes, he hiding the mother, and when he put his head down, it's one of them white boys sucking on him.
Oh,
you understand? That has happened. You understand what I'm saying? Then you got these guys who they go into these Turkish houses. Once you get to that door, you don't go back in there. But you know what they do in them Turkish houses. Well, you can assume what they do, quote unquote, in those Turkish houses. You understand? But you get stopped at the door. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you go into the building, but they have that last door, you don't go past that.
You securing that door at that point. Yeah.
Pretty deep. Now, can we, if you may, can we talk about, you know, the night of the shooting, or leading up to the night of the shooting of Biggie Smalls? Now, first and foremost, was it true that Biggie told you that he was leaving Bad Boy Records?
Well, Biggie showed me the paperwork,
right?
But I had read his contract, you know, on the way to L.A. because I was on the plane and Puff gave me his briefcase, you know, the big nigga shit. So then I was like, okay, I got 6 hours to ride on this motherfucker. What's in here?
Yeah, word.
So I was reading the contract. So then, and then when I was telling Big about his contract, he was like, yo, how you know that? So then I said, man, you broke it. I'm teasing him because I'm teasing him with cigarettes. Because at the time, man, I was smoking those Newports. And they was out there and they had the Newports and the soft packs, and they couldn't get the box packs. You can only get those in New York City. You know, you couldn't get them in Cali, or they ain't know where to get them. And he wanted one real bad. And I was teasing to him about how broke he was. You know what I'm saying? I said, nigga, you begging for cigarettes, man? You know, just messing with him like that. He was like, man, I ain't begging for nothing. So then his mother calls on the phone, right? And she was talking about, you could hear a conversation with him because it was only me and him in the Winnebago. And he said, she said, Ma, they ain't gonna do nothing. Just give me the contractor name and I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna take care of it, Ma. Don't worry about it. And he was like, I'm gonna take care of the 60,000, Ma, because she was talking about they needed 60,000 or they're gonna stop building the house they was building. He was building for her in Pennsylvania. So then when he got off the phone, I took a pull on the cigarette. I said, yo, damn, man, you owe everybody. And he was like, I said, you owe Mike Gadget 30,000 for them cars he did for you. He was like, yo, Gene, how you know that shit? I said, niggas be talking, big. I said, nigga be talking. He said, yeah. He said, damn, man. He said, yo, but nigga, I ain't broke. Just look at this. So now he was showing me the contract. Then I think it was for 6.2 or either $62 million. It was for Cameron, Tracy Lee, I think, Junior Mafia, Little Kim, and a group called The Commission and Charlie Baltimore.
Sounds about right.
Right? So he showed me that. He said, yo, nigga, I will take you with me, but you love that nigga too much. And I said, yo, nigga, I'm going where the money is. He said, nah. You good, you good. I said, yeah, I'm good, man. You understand? He said, yo, but I said, yo, so what's is publishing? He said, publishing. Then he explained to me what publishing was. He said if he writes something or he write for somebody, he do a song, stuff like that, that's what you call your publishing. I said, so Puff owned that from you, huh?
Damn.
I said, I looked at your contract, man. He told me he gonna give it back to you. Y'all could talk about getting it back. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could talk about getting it back. I say, and your marketing too big? Yo, I'm fucking with him. You know what I mean? So then he was like, yo, I can't be mad at him. So, that was telling me at the time, yo, you mad at him, but you can't be mad at him because he showed me how to get money. You know what I'm saying?
So it was a sense of loyalty there in a certain sense, but at the same time, he knew that time that had ran out. It was time to move on.
Right, no doubt. But when somebody said that I can't be mad at somebody, they actually mad at him.
Yeah,
they upset because he had found out that publishing was probably the biggest part of the whole industry, and then you owning your publishing, you know what I'm saying, it's going to feed you for the rest of your life.
Right. We see a lot of rappers out here that seem like they gain more fame in death than they do in life. And obviously, two of the most famous is Biggie and Tupac. And you talk about ownership of catalogs and who owns publishings and where they've been since been in death. I just can't help but to think that there was a lot more to that story than we know. Mm-hmm. How much, how do I say this? Did Puff have more to do with it than we know?
Bro, you got to look at it like this. See, let me just say this, bro. You own something, and you got, and I say this, I said this on my show, you know what I'm saying, before, is that they took the money and they made Biggie who Biggie was, the Notorious Big. They took Christopher Wallace and made him the Notorious Big. Mm-hmm. Notorious Big makes Little Kim. He makes Junior Mafia. You understand? He's about to make other groups and everything. Mm-hmm. But he don't bring it through Bad Boy. He don't bring it through Arista, who took the money to make Christopher Wallace Notorious Big. He goes and takes it to the people who are their competition. Now, how do that make Puffy look? People don't look at it like that. And then you got to hear the words that Puff say out his mouth sometimes. I can't believe this man did this stuff like that. He gonna catch flack from that. We took all this money. Look what he did to Craig Mack. He told Craig Mack, if you don't fire your manager, you ain't never gonna work with Bad Boy again. I'm not effing with you no more. But yet and still, if it wasn't for Craig Mack, Big wouldn't be who he was.
That's a fact.
And people don't see that. Oh no, what are you talking about? You crazy, man. You just hating on Diddy. Man, first of all, Big did the proverbial proverbial trick on a motherfucker when he called that nigga Diddy. And he came out 10 years later and said, I'm changing my name to Diddy because Big used to call me that. So Big is turning over laughing in his grave. The night that we was talking about Lil Kim and Big doing Lil Kim's album, right? And because D-Rock was calling himself snitching on me about something to Puff, because he had told Big. So I said, oh, so Big, you want to talk now? So tell Puff how you wrote Lil Kim album, because he told me that, right? And Puff started jumping up. He jumped out the seat. You did what? You wrote Lil Kim. He knew he wrote Lil Kim album. But for Big to tell somebody that, and somebody could say that, if Big say that in front of him, he could take that to his lawyer because he's due that publishing.
Yeah.
Puff paid Big $200,000 for that publishing. But Big learned the game and said, yo, listen to me. I can't say I wrote this shit, but y'all got to piece me off this money for this. You understand? When y'all get those publishing checks. You get it? Mm-hmm. All right, so now he said Big laid back in his chair while he was rolling his joint, and Charlie Baltimore was right there. And he was like, nah, Diddy. Nah, Diddy. Okay, Diddy. Yeah, all right, Diddy. All right, Diddy. Now, Y'all was young enough back then. Y'all know who Diddy was, right? Huh?
Other than Puffy changing his name, no, to that. You got to school us, OJ.
You say Diddy.
Bro, do you ever play video games back in the day?
Yep.
Remember Donkey Kong?
Oh, yeah.
So who was Diddy Kong?
Oh, shit.
It was his bitch or his son or something like that, wasn't it?
It was his little son. They ran out at the end of the thing.
So he's calling him his son. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he was calling him Diddy Kong. He was calling him Diddy. So now he go back and change his name to Diddy, and Big was. And so when Puff walked out the room, the studio, I say, "So who you, Donkey Kong?" And Big was like, "Nigga, how you know?" I said, "Nigga, I got to the end of the board before too."
Man. So the those are the main two reasons why people implicate him as well, was the publishing, and the fact that he was saying that he was leaving Bad Boy from my research. But can we talk about the night of the shooting, and was it true that Diddy was acting a little funny that night or off that night or what?
Bro, listen here. When you be around for somebody for X amount of years, you learn them and you know how they move. And I said this 1,000 times. If we in New York City, we leave out the club, Puff jumping in the car and leaving. He'll leave his mama.
Damn.
You understand? This night, that whole night, the whole atmosphere was advertised. Prior to we getting to the party, I had already forewarned everybody. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to have a private conversation with Puff. You understand? He didn't want to hear it. You ain't got to go, Gene. I made a telephone call from Andre Harrell's house. You hear me, brother? To the block on 112th Street and 8th Avenue. Spoke to my peoples. They told me, yo, fuck it. He don't want you to go. He said, you ain't got to go. Don't go. Had already been out there 4 or 5 days. I would have probably had to do something to him about my money. So I said, man, I ain't going to leave them cats out there like that because nobody had no guns. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Other than the cop that was supposed to have it from L.A.
Mm-hmm.
D-Rock, Paul, none of them had no guns. You understand? So now, I know not to give nobody nothing unless you there. You understand? Because, you know, guys always talking about, yo, the police came, I had to throw it. You never get yours back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't going to leave him out there like that, no way. But I told Puff. I went outside and I told Big. You understand? I told Big because I had told at the studio. Remember I told you we was at the studio with and we was talking about Lil Kim publishing and everything like that, and Big writing that shit.
Yep.
I told D-Rock that night, 2 days before the party, don't come around this dude, bro. We're going everywhere. Me and Puff was going everywhere. That ain't what I was told when I went out there. All we was gonna do was the studio and Soul Train. That was it. Nah, but we in the House of Blues. You know what I'm saying? We going to the movie theater with Sally Richardson and all this other shit like that. We going out to lounges. We doing all this dumb shit.
And it was hot. It was hot in LA with y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Hot as hell.
You know what I'm saying? To be doing that. So now I've already warned them. I go to the car and I say, yo, Big, these niggas is coming to try to kill us tonight. I had already 2 gangsters and a dude from Jodeci telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the gangsters, shout out to Unique from Mecca Audio, came out of jail. He said, yo, he got on one of the podcast shows and he said, yo, I tried to warn Bad Boy Puff Daddy and them. I told Big Gene. Nobody believed me, but President Trump pardoned him after 26 years. He came out of jail, got on a podcast show, and said, yo, I tried to warn Big Gene. I almost caught a body in jail, you know what I'm saying, behind this. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm telling them, Big was like, I said, yo, big nigga. And C said, yo, go ahead, old Gene, with that old cop shit. You think you know everything. I said to the nigga just like this, I said, what I do know, you better get your GED, brother, so they don't cheat you out your money like they did your man right here. Because you know what I'm saying? Big told me he had an effed up contract. But how you going to get a good contract when Puff man Mark Pitts is his manager?
Yeah.
Mark Pitts started Bad Boy with Puff, was right there from Jungle. How you going to make that your manager? He ain't going to go against Puff. Yeah, sell him your publisher for $200,000. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm sorry.
I told Big them that night. They took it for a joke.
You pretty much warned, them that, something could have happened that night. But what you saying?
Something was going to happen. That was our last night there, brother. They got to make it happen then. Or they can't go back to their block. Oh, y'all let these bad boy niggas come out here. Right. They party with the girl. They smoke. They drink and everything. Something got to happen that night, bro. Or they got to blow up the plane.
Now, is it true that the shooter went to Puffy's car first?
Bro, it's true as it, man. Listen, on everything I love, brother. Came to Puff's car. You understand? And I didn't know it was the shooter at the time because when they said to me, Muslim guy shot Big, and I said the blue suit, white shirt, and blue bow tie, and they were like, yeah, Gene, how you know? I said he came to Puff's car first, but I showed the nigga the hammer. All this is in the FBI files. When he came, I had my gun up under my shirt, and when he came, he was just coming closer and closer, and I just lowered my hand. He looked at me, I looked at him.
Okay.
He stopped, and he just turned back around. So I watched him as he got, about 3 or 4 cars down the street, and then I ain't see him no more.
Right.
Because I'm like, yo, y'all niggas ain't ready to go. So we lined up on side of the building. So then I'm telling Puff, yo, I'm gonna ride on top of the Puff, everybody get in the car. I go to Paul. I say, yo, Paul, y'all ready? Follow us. Because we going to Steve Stout's house. Thank God, and Big Death saved a lot of people's lives because they was waiting for us at Steve Stout's house. Because I had a couple of gangsters tell me that them niggas had set up there, and as soon as we rolled up there, they was gonna tear everybody up in those vans, in those trucks. So his death saved a lot of people's lives.
So I was going to ask you, you were advising cars in front of you or behind you run lights. We're not sitting at these lights. We're not doing this. And it was just a lot of weird.
I told Paul and them, because Puff ran around outside for like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, shit. I said, he don't do this.
Right. He leave his mama. He's going
to. I said, he don't do this. You know what I'm saying? So I told Paul, yo, follow us. I just told y'all I was down at the training thing. I was at 40th Street. And this is how good God is, man. And the spirit is. 2 weeks prior to me going out to LA, I took a DEA course. It was called Surveillance and Interrogation. And in that class, they said, if you want to find out if somebody following you, take 3 rights, run 3 lights. So when I got in the car, when I told Kenny, I said, Kenny, run the next 3 lights. You know what I'm saying? Told Paul and them to follow us. But I was going to try, at the time, I was 265 pounds, and I was going to ride on the side of the car with my gun out in case something. Me and Puff got into an argument right there. And he said, yo, Gene, if you don't get in this car, you ain't going to never work for Bad Boy again. You understand? And I told this nigga like this, yo, how you going to tell me how to do my job, bro? He said, yo, Gene, we don't need it. Get in this car. And then he left his seat all the way back. We don't drive down there like that.
The fuck out of here.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
I never heard that before.
That's because you ain't look at Raw Deal the last big night. That's what happened. You ain't look at my YouTube
It
channel.
was like
Raw Deal, the last big
It was
night.
4 of them.
1, 2, and 3. That's why.
It was 4 of them though.
God damn. So after it all, the dust settles and we lose big. What was the atmosphere like with around Puff and everybody immediately after that?
Well, see, I know we lost when we pulled him out the car, bro.
Yeah.
And that effed me up. That twisted me. And so Paul was like, yo, Gene, yo, he gonna be all right. I said, man, that nigga dead. And because I've been around, I've seen that before at clubs and stuff like that. You know how the body function release itself. You know what I'm saying? I said, he done. He said, no, it's trauma, Gene, it's trauma. I said, man, that nigga done, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dead weight, the whole 9 yards. And then Puff runs out the hospital, grab my arm. Gene, we gotta pray. I pushed his hand down. I said, yo, pray for what? That nigga dead. Pray for what? You understand? And then Paul comes back out. He said, yo, we gotta get Puff to the airport. Andre Herrera said, we gotta take him to San Diego. They got a jet waiting for him. So now, Chaz, if you ever heard of Chaz Williams, he was on American Gangster. He had robbed 160 banks and all that stuff like that. He got his whole crew at the hospital. They surrounded the place, and stuff like that. They surrounded Puff cars and everything like that, and said, "Yo, where y'all going?" I said, "We gotta take Puff to the airport." And we was driving. Puff pulled over and to the side. He said, "Yo, tell Chaz we don't need all that."
Okay.
What? What you know? I don't know. Big just got shot up and killed. And then leaving the hospital within an hour or two. You understand? But you telling this dude who got all these guys in these cars around us that we don't need this.
You would think your life was in danger too.
Yeah. So then, Chaz told me to get in the car with him. I did. And then, a couple of days, the next day or so later, they got me out of LA. So the atmosphere, it was solemn, man. It was crazy, man. You just lost, probably one of the greatest. He would have been one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Right. Now, could you talk, as much as you can about, you said a teardropping conversation with Mrs. Wallace. What was that conversation about?
About how her son died. His last words in my face.
Right.
Because I was telling them niggas, don't let him go to sleep. Do not keep him up at all the time. Man, and what I'm telling you, it took anywhere. We didn't know a hospital was a block away. 2 blocks, not even 2 blocks away.
Wow.
The dude from LA took us someplace. It was like 30, 45 minutes away, man.
Ah, damn.
What?
Man.
Yeah.
Now
but the conversation with Miss Wallace was, this how it came about. I didn't look for Miss Wallace, bro. I didn't look for nobody. I was going to mind my business and try to get through this shit myself, man. Because I know I tried to forewarn them. And then how the hell that you in the middle of an East Coast, West Coast war, East Coast, West Coast beef, and you got 2 cops out there, me and the Inglewood guy, the guy from Inglewood, no other guns, and you got 23 people. So now Ms. Wallace, me and her conversation, brother, I just told her the atmosphere, told her what was going on. She said she had been looking for me because the police had told her, ask Gene Deal. And she asked Puffy who Gene Deal was. And Puff said, I don't know no Gene Deal. You know what I'm saying? But my fraternity brother, who was Don King's bodyguard, he was Michael Jackson's bodyguard, and he was Andre Harrell's bodyguard, Bill Willett. He said, Miss Wallace, I know Gene Deal. That's my frat brother. You know what I mean? And he said, I'll get in touch with him. So he called me and brought me to Miss Wallace's house.
Man.
Now the Suge Knight connection to this, in your opinion, do you think Suge Knight could have had something to do with it? Because I think they said that he knew he had a connection with the cops that had a connection with the supposed alleged shooter. Do you think Suge Knight may have anything to do with it at all?
I don't want to speak on that, man. Suge trying to get his freedom and everything like that. And I'm not sure about none of that right there. You know what I mean? So I don't want to speak on none. If we're gonna speak on something, I want to speak on something that I personally know, that I saw, that I was there.
Okay.
And I don't do the assumption and assuming shit. That makes
LAPD.
to you and me.
The LAPD, in your opinion, would you say that they,
Crooked as hell. Bro,
right,
let me tell you something. They showed me a picture of the Muslim guy, and his face was blurred out. In front of my lawyer, Eloise Nurse. She was David, what's that, Patterson? That was David Patterson, who was the governor of New York at one time?
Mm-hmm.
Right. She worked in his law as a lawyer for them too. She was there with me. They showed me a picture of the guy's face. Of the guy. Right there. And you got to watch if you heard the dossier, the FBI agent, Phil Carson, talks about this. I said, that's the guy right there who walked up to the car. They said they was going to straighten out the face of the picture, come back out to New York. I never heard from them again.
Wow.
I never heard from them again. Now, the agent, Phil Carson, if you listen to the dossier episode 4 and 5, he said he asked the LAPD about that picture because he said he had seen it before, but it wasn't in the file. And the LAPD officer, Katz, told him, say, no, we ain't show Gene Deal no picture like that. He said, so why did you put it in your notes? They didn't distract it from their notes. Because your notes and everything got to be turned in.
So they forgot to do it, or was it like an error? They just slipped.
It was an error. They forgot to distract it from their notes.
Wow.
They took the picture, from it because they knew that identified the person who killed Big.
Right. So is that man still walking around?
Oh yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I want to try to transition a little bit because we had Exhibit on a couple shit, about 6-7 months ago now.
I Bodyguard Exhibit before.
I remember you saying that you ran with him for a while.
Dude.
Talk about Exhibit, and then I remember you saying, because we didn't get to ask, we was going to ask him about Diddy and that whole thing when he said that, and then all of a sudden things kind of went left. Do you think, your opinion, that you think that's how it went down?
Bro, let me tell you something. I was there when he got rid of Wendy Williams.
Did he?
Yeah. When Puff made a phone call, this is his word verbatim. If that bitch is on the radio station when I get back in New York, ain't nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know are gonna ever do business with y'all again.
Damn.
Yo, when we got off the plane, Wendy was in Philly.
You remember when she went to Philly? Damn. Damn, remember that.
Yeah.
Charlamagne.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that nigga got some power. I didn't know he had that much power, but he had some power. He had some people in some high places, bro.
Now 50 Cent. I know you didn't know him a lot, but did you? Is it true that he came, or you knew when he was about to get shot as well?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. 50. The meeting that he was supposed to be at in front of Black Hands, 50 didn't make it. He was at Columbia or wherever he was at doing business, because he called me on the phone. He said, yo, Gene, just tell him to have another meeting someplace else at another time. I said, dog, them niggas is out there. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? What's up? He said, I said, you supposed to be here. He said, I can't. And so then he came over my house later because he had a vest, but he didn't have a cover. So I said, my vest was the vests that I had that I could have gave to him was 2X. You know what I'm saying? But 50 is like an extra large. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't got a vest on that's tight on you, you understand what I'm saying? The impact was just like you getting shot regular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I gave him a cover, and I said, yo, get somebody to sew the vest into the cover. You know what I'm saying? I guess he didn't know how to do that or whatever, so he went from another route. So we were supposed to go to Cancun together. I'm glad he didn't, because it was set for Cancun too, because they knew he was going to be out there. And them niggas were just trying to worry. They was trying to make sure that Chaz didn't change his mind about, you know, not dealing with 50, but 50 wasn't dealing with Chaz. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because the conversation was, yo, Slim, you ain't gonna get mad. You ain't gonna get mad. Slim said, man, the kid ain't even calling me back. You know what I'm saying? He ain't fucking with me. So Chaz had a lot of respect and love for 50, but 50 wasn't fucking with Chaz no more.
You ever deal with any post-traumatic stress watching and dealing with all the shit you dealt with through your life? I say that jokingly, but on some real shit, like, because you seem like you got everything together. You see, like, you talking real solid and chill, like level right here. But like mentally, like, did this ever affect you?
Bro, you only meet what other men have met in life. You know what I'm saying? And one day I was sitting on the steps and just tears just started running out my eyes to keep the fuck with you.
Word.
And my man looked at me, he said, yo, Gene, what's wrong? And I was just in a shootout, August the 13th, 1999. And he said, you know, he said, you here, Gene? He said, you here? He said, you got to get it together, brother. Because I was tripping off. I let them sneak up on me like that. You know what I mean? On that situation. And that was after the big and, you know, after all other shit. So I'm like this. I had to give it to the Most High. And I had to say to myself that, you know, listen, you got to make yourself 10 times a normal man and just not say, why me? Why not me? Mm-hmm. I get through this and then I help somebody get through it too.
Word. Deep, man.
Definitely.
Seeing a lot around you. Talk about Scott Storch real quick. We're not going to hold you too much longer. We definitely appreciate your time, brother, and the stories that you're sharing with us. You hear a lot of bad shit about Scott Storch. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. But I heard you say some pretty solid shit about him. Talk about Scott Storch.
Well, Scott was Scott was a good kid, man. But you know, that hip hop and that club life would do something to you. Yeah. Would, you know, fans and women will change you if you ain't got your shit on. You understand? If you ain't got your shit on right, your head on right, you know, you'll start believing how great you are.
Yeah.
You understand? And Scott had a good heart, man. Scott will give, you know, Scott will give the clothes off his back, man. You know, he'll get the food off his plate. He was just giving. He was too giving. And then I just think that hip hop kind of what, you know, changed him. And Jimmy Iovine, you know, messed that kid head up. Mm. You understand? We went to a meeting and Scott was trying to get Tough Jew his own production company, you know, signed under Interscope. And Jimmy Iovine told him that he didn't want him to do no more rappers.
Dang, why?
And that F Scott up. Mm. I don't know why. He didn't want him to produce no more music for rappers. He just wanted him to do Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
He was doing her stuff right there. And he said he wanted him to do rock and roll, you know, I guess that type of music or whatever like that. But he didn't want to give rappers no more beats and all that shit like that.
No.
And Scott was trying to be a white Jew, a brother in a white Jew body.
Yeah. Vinegar and oil, water, some shit.
Yeah.
You and Mace cool?
Me and Mace is all right. Listen to me, man. I don't have no beef with Puff. I don't have no beef with Mace. I don't have no beef. These guys they was kids, you know, they were youngins, but they wasn't listening because they thought, you know, money makes a man. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And I've always had just as much. You got to watch, I got to watch. Oh, because you got to roll it, you'll tell better time than mine? No, nigga. Right. You understand? You got a house, a roof over your head. I got a house, a roof over my head. You understand? You got a car. I got a car. You ain't have nothing I don't have, bro. Now, yeah, we know it's levels to this, but it's all right. When you happy with you and happy with yours, you don't worry about what the next man has. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of these kids, a lot of these guys think because they make a little money that they can make the rules. You don't make the rules, bro. You know, don't believe that fictitious shit. The golden rule, the man with all the gold makes all the rules. Nah, that ain't always the truth. See, I tell everybody all the time, when they came up with that bullshit, money, power, respect, that was asinine and ass backwards. When we was coming through, you got your respect from coming on the block. That gave you your power. Then you got your money. It's a difference.
Definitely.
Gene Dill, man, we definitely appreciate you in the building. This is an interview we've been wanting for the last couple of years, man. So we definitely
Stop that, boys. Stop that.
real shit.
Talk about dirty ass backyard lawn chairs. Wanted to have this interview for a long fucking time.
Check your Instagram, man.
Y'all interview. You know what they tell niggas? Yo, you interview him, you will not get the Ciroc contract. You will not.
We independent. We independent, bro.
You won't be at Jay-Z and Rock Nation luncheon.
Yeah.
We fucked that up a long time ago.
Guy, man.
We ain't worried about it, bro. Real recognizes real, and you had to come on this platform. You can come on anytime, man. Salute to you. Definitely appreciate you. Nah.
I just want one favor, man. When the book come out, can I come on your platform, man?
Absolutely.
Come here first, man. Let's get some copies. Let's read it and let's talk about it, man.
Yep.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Now, indeed, drop your social media handles where they can find you and where they can check out that book when it does release.
All right. Well, you know, I'm gonna do it independent, man. I'm gonna sell every last one of them out the back of my car if I have to, or I'm gonna mail it to you. But I'm at the Gene Deal Show on YouTube, and also I have that Instagram, Big Gene _5 Deuce. You know what I'm saying? I'm simple, man. You know, y'all. You see how y'all just trained me today on doing this stuff on my iPad Pro. I appreciate that.
No doubt.
And the joint went smooth right after that shit. We was good to go. Hey, man, definitely appreciate your time. God willing and God blessings to your surgery. Everything goes successful, man. We'll be talking to you soon, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right, brother.
Take care.
Don't be no stranger.
Nah, indeed.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. All right.